Mark Milley stomped a mud hole in Josh Hawley, and it's beautiful. It's just a beautiful. It's just so fun. So let's take a look, shall we? This is when a gotcha comes back to get you. A lot of people have experienced this. You think you got a gotcha, and it comes back to get you. Yeah, it was Tom Cotton, and this starts off talking about the awful people that they found amongst the Afghans, which, by the way, the Trump administration could have weeded out last year, so that people getting out of the country right now, the military and the Biden administration, or even the Trump administration, had he made it, would not have had to bum rush people onto airplanes to get them out safely, and could have taken more time vetting them because they had a whole goddamn year. But Trump blew that off entirely, did none of the work, surprise, and left it to the next administration because he was never going to leave in the first place. And here we are. So I lay all of the creepy Afghans that got through, that are intermixed with the people that helped us and their families. Those people would have been weeded out if Trump had done his homework, if they'd have done their work beforehand. The Biden administration was working against the clock. Trump was not. He could have spent the last 3 years vetting exactly who was going to go and who was going to stay, and they did none of it. None. All right. So here, let's just to settle that out of the top. So here we go.
What are we to make of this? What steps are we taking to ensure that thousands of Afghans about who we know nothing are not going to be a menace?
They're not thousands of Afghans of whom you know nothing. First of all, they're being vetted on a military basis, not being released into the public until you know something. And the ones that you find out are not good people, they get either deported or sent to jail.
To our troops at our military bases and to the communities into which they're about to be released.
Well, Senator, I'm certainly aware of the allegations, and I take the allegations very seriously. And I can assure you that our commanders at our bases have what they need to be able to protect our troops and our families.
Oh, wait. Did I say Hawley out of the top? It was because he was in the picture in the beginning. Yes. This clip is just Tom Cotton talking to both. These are his last two questions.
That work and live at those bases. And I'm in contact with General Van Herk, the NORTHCOM commander, who has overall responsibility for the operation on a routine basis. And this is an area that he remains sighted on.
All right, I've just got one final question. General Milley.
I just got one final question. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, you were on horseback crossing a covered bridge, and a man was on a horse behind you with a pumpkin for a head. And all you had to defend yourself with was your Adam's apple.
Conclude that your advice about staying in Afghanistan was rejected. I'm shocked to learn that your advice wasn't sought until August 25th on staying past the August 31 deadline. I understand that you're the principal military advisor, that you advise, you don't decide, the president decides. But if all this is true, General Milley, why haven't you resigned?
Okay, first of all, before Milley answers in the most kick-ass way anybody could answer this question, by the way, this is solid, like, language warfare. Josh Hawley's idea is that because they didn't seek his advice about staying forever until the 25th, or like listen to him out, his strategy about this. Milley was brought in by Trump. Everybody who has served in his position for the last 20 years has advocated at least leaving a presence there and staying forever, which at some point, some president was going to go, fuck that, we're leaving. And the idea that Tom Cotton is floating is that why don't we just keep our soldiers in harm's way perpetually forever for a piece of ground we have no intention of seizing or keeping or making. I don't know if Tom Cotton is now in the Afghanistan as the 51st state crowd, but it seems like it. But nobody in the Biden administration had not heard over time, let's leave a 2,500 person force there, or in some version at 3,500, 10,000, 3,000, whatever. And they're jumping up Biden's ass right now because he was like, no, I don't remember anybody saying 2,500. Because basically that was why don't we just leave who we have there? And nobody was making that argument, even though these guys were saying we should keep a residual force and blah, blah, blah. Yes, you can make, a lot of people said residual force. But once you made the decision, we're getting out, that's a ridiculous, that's like saying, now that you started brushing your teeth, let's start talking about putting the toothpaste back in.
Senator, as a senior military officer, resigning is a really serious thing. It's a political act if I'm resigning in protest. My job is to provide advice. My statutory responsibility is to provide legal advice or best military advice to the president, and that's my legal requirement.
By the way, 666 people in the chat room right now. Welcome. Hi, everybody. Is it weird that number popped up when Tom Cotton was speaking? I don't know. Maybe not. Decide for yourself.
What the law is. The president doesn't have to agree with that advice. He doesn't have to make those decisions just because we're generals. And it would be an incredible act of political defiance for a commissioned officer to just resign because my advice is not taken. This country doesn't want generals figuring out what orders we are going to accept and do or not. That's not our job. The principle of civilian control of the military is absolute. It's critical to this republic. In addition to that, just from a personal standpoint, my dad didn't get a choice to resign at Iwo Jima. And those kids there at Abbey Gate, they don't get a choice to resign. And I'm not going to turn my back on them. I'm not going to resign. They can't resign, so I'm not going to resign. There's no way. If the orders are illegal.
I love how, Tom Cotton's nodding now. The fuck are you nodding at?
I'm not going to resign. They can't resign, so I'm not going to resign. There's no way. If the orders are illegal, we're in a different place. But if the orders are legal from civilian authority, I intend to carry them out.
Thank you.
Sorry, can I crawl into a hole right now? Point of order. The senator from Massholery wants to crawl. I'm sorry, what? Crawl into a corner. No. You can crawl back in your hole if you want. Okay, that's sufficient. The very thing that these idiots are, the authoritarian streak that these guys are pretending that Biden, tyranny, Biden, tyranny, it's tyranny. And then all they ask for in these hearings is, why haven't the generals taken over the country? Oh, we're going to turn into Venezuela. And then they sit in this fucking circle and go, why, General, I'm very upset we haven't turned into Venezuela yet. Jesus. Stupid. Draw back your bow.